let's get started. As a quick overview, even before the pandemic, the streaming business was huge in Brazil. We love streaming. We access much music and films. So the streaming, the COVID is causing a huge change in audiovisual, visual, and music scenario. And Brazil is the sixth country and the most access consumes streaming on online platforms. So the discussion about streaming is quite new in Brazil. This subject reached the Superior Court in Brazil in 2017 because our copyright act, Brazilian Copyright Act, does not comprises anything about streaming or online issues. So the court has reached this subject, and they had to decide what is streaming is, and they come into the conclusion that streaming is available no matter if it's available or not on demand or simulcasting, webcasting, or if there is an interaction of the public, you have to pay copyright fees to a non-profit institution that's called ECAD here. You're gonna hear a lot about ECAD. So this is some main streamings are that we have worldwide, and in Brazil there are two main ones like Global Play and National. Of course, we access a lot of Netflix. We love it. So talking about streaming and in public execution, according to the Brazilian Copyright Act, this is a very important subject to us in Brazil and quite recent, like I said. So the copyright is subject of payment fees whenever you execute it online or not. So as we don't have this definition in our copyright law, some doubts has raised among us when we perform a live event. Should we collect and pay copyright fees or not? We are still handling this issue, but we tend to agree. The ECAD has announced that it's necessary because it's considered a streaming. So the realization of a live event must observe the Brazilian Copyright Act as it is considered a type of public execution, notwithstanding it's not explicit in our Copyright Act. So just for you to know, I think it is important to bring here some stats in Brazil about specifically in streaming and during this pandemic. So in the first picture, you see the growth of streaming worldwide, and in Brazil, you can see it's huge. We had 8 millions. Was the record a lot of live streaming in 2012. And talking about the COVID and pandemic, the audience is being like 10 to 12% bigger than the regular live. So live events broadcasted over the YouTube in 2012 has increased 19%. So the most accessed platforms here in Brazil, you can have a quick view here. Netflix is on the top, and we consume a lot on this platform. Netflix is the most, in fact, the most accessed platform among internet viewers, users. And the second one is Global Play. We like YouTube also. So another overview which is important is quite important to us about video streaming. Like, we are expecting, I don't know if this number is going to in fact occur because of the pandemic, but the streaming scenario, the entertainment has suffered a lot with the pandemic, obviously, like all around the world. But this specific area of streaming, they are not facing so much problem, and they are increasing, as you can see from the previous slides. So we are expecting, it's projected to reach 30,000, 14 million in this year. In here you have a pay-per-view overview. Music streaming, you can see huge numbers and music downloads. So this industry it's a huge industry. It's increasing a lot. The estimated streaming revenues of Netflix in Brazil from 2011 to today. Here you can have a graphic that shows how it increases a lot. So one important thing to ask and to think about is who is the responsible for the payment of the public execution. It includes obviously a live event. So we have here streaming platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and these platforms specifically, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure of this. Yeah, YouTube has an agreement with ECAD, that non-profit public responsible company for the collection of copyright payments, and so the payment is made to some private companies. We have 5 private companies here in Brazil that the artists must be associated to those private companies, and then ECAD, YouTube pays to ECAD, and ECAD transfer the money to the private companies, and then the artists that are associated to those private companies receives the copyright fees. So it's important to check the platforms, terms and using conditions, because the creators have rights to receive remuneration and money for the copyright for their works that is broadcasted in YouTube and online platforms. So YouTube started playing Brazilian authors in 2018. It's quite recent. Instagram, it's starting to pay. I'm talking obviously about Brazil. So it's a new scenario for us, to us, and we are still trying to understand specifically the live events. So the impact of COVID and the future entertainment as occurred in other countries. Brazil, the Brazilian entertainment industry has been obviously affected by the crisis. We had here, we are almost completely locked down. I cannot say it's completely locked down because we are facing in Brazil some discussions about reopening business, which is all closed here. We don't have shows, we don't have movie theaters, malls, and museums. They're all shut down. So the only option we have here is to access the internet and live events. Thanks God, we have lots of live events happening here. So we are facing some discussions and about reopening or not. We are in the middle of these discussions because we have some opposite orders given from the municipality and the government, and we don't know how it's going to be. Like in São Paulo, where I live, we are thinking about of this reopening, but it's not clear enough to us yet. So searches for live content in Brazil has increased a lot in this quarantine time, and growth in live streamings, specifically YouTube has an increase of 70% of Instagram lives, as you can see when you open the app. So let's talk about a little bit of the copyright regulation in Brazil. It's a quick overview just because I'm focusing on live events and entertainment music industry. So we have talking about the protection of intellectual property in Brazil. It's ruled by our Constitution of Federative Republic, and we are in other treaties and conventions, like, as all you know, the Bern and Rome Convention, amongst others. So the main law that talks about Copyright Act is 9610, but as I said, it does not talk about any internet aspects, or but we can use and apply it using some general articles that it's set for in this law. We have a bill of legislative bill going on about Copyright Act, but nothing has been concluded yet. So we have to handle with our not so recent law, copyright law. So here we have a declaratory protections. Once you have your work and you put in a tangible place, so you are already protected. So let's consider I'm making a video and I put it over YouTube, so I'm already protected. Of course, that we do recommend that the authors protects its arts and works before the authority to have a proof of ownership and prior rights to prove the creation of the work itself. So the collection of license and authors and neighboring music rights, it's ICAD is responsible for that. Yeah, let's talk about now about the subject of this lecture. One of the subjects is the threats related to the transitions from the real to the virtual world platforms. So just to introduce the subject, as you know, I don't know if all of you had the opportunity to see the live event that occurred, One World Together at Home, with the participation of several artists like Paul McCartney, Lady Gaga. So this scenario, bringing to Brazil, we have here uncountable live events and streamings going on about several subjects, and mainly with our famous artists, singers that brings us and please us with their presentations. There are a lot of presentations. So in Brazil, if an artist, just for us to think, let's start to think. If an artist plays a song by a third party, another composer, let's say, in a standard event, the one we were used to go, like a show, like a concert, and plays to several people, is it necessary to provide a copyright payment? It's for sure, we know that. But the doubt is, the thing is, we had to think about streaming live event like a different way of live performance, but it still has a protection of copyright, like I said. So how does it work? So the main copyright aspects related to this matter, and the first of all, streaming and broadcasting live events are considered, according to our Brazilian Copyright Act, as an audiovisual work and is protected by the Copyright Act. So it doesn't matter if it's not a professional live, if you play, for example, on work of third party, you have to take some cautions. So, like thinking about a professional life with a commercial and profit purpose, especially involving advertising. So we have to take some steps and take some cautions and take some care to broadcast the live events in these platforms, like negotiating contract rights, intellectual property rights, like trademarks that are going to be like that is going to appear in the live presentation. You must check it out, the YouTube or Instagram or what else, terms of use. But it's important also to point out that in some case, it's not necessary for you to obtain any authorization to use the third-party works. We don't have here, as in US, as they call fair use. It's quite different here, but we have exception. It's exactly as the law mentions, and in these exceptions, like if it's in the public domain, the domain depends if the life the author has died or not. That there are different dates, like to photography and and other arts. It's important to check each one. So you can use some parts, little parts of some works of third parties. Our law does not mention how much can I use of these little parts. So it must be considered case by case. So usually the streaming platforms, like I said, and they have agreements. So ECAD is like starting to collect payments when someone makes live performance. Like ECAD said one week ago. It's too recent for us. I think it's not operating yet, but it's going to happen for sure. And so you have to pay the copyright fees, the normal ones that you have to pay when you use third-party work. But also when you perform and you broadcast a live event or over the internet, and specifically on these platforms, you have to pay another copyright fee and also inform ECAD about the playlist and the songs that are going to be played so that they can check it out and pay correctly. So this is a very important aspect I'm going to talk about. It's like the cautions regarding live events and streamings in Brazil, because we are problems with this. I think that we were not, and we are not prepared to the professional live events. I give some examples of we are in Brazil facing some problems. First of all, it's like I'm going to talk about some aspects related to advertising, because here in Brazil we have a National Advertising Self-Regulation Council, which is called CONAR. So are you going to hear a lot about CONAR from now on in this lecture? So CONAR aims to regulate advertising sector. So they check the campaigns, they always pay attention if it's not in accordance with their own rules. It's like it's not a rule, it's a guidance. They can give you new and warm letter for you to accomplish and meet the guidance. So the first one here, we are facing problems, and it's related to alcoholic beverage. When our artists and musicians are performing live events. So CONAR has informed that live events is sometimes innovative to us. It's quite new, but it considers advertising actions must follow our principles of commercial communication. So sometimes when the artists are in their home with their family, they are singing. It's good for us. It's fair enough. It's a good work that they are doing this to us, like giving us a free entertainment. So, however, they must pay attention with the principles of commercial communication and CONAR guidance. So it's recommended when you do a live event for you not to use excessive or irresponsible consumption of alcoholic beverage. It might be quite obviously saying this to us, but our artists, it's not obvious to them. So they are drinking a lot, they are sometimes smoking, and there are sometimes children in our room watching the live stream. So it is important also when you perform and you broadcast a live event to insert some information like a warning clause, like don't drink with moderation. This product or this live event it's to plus 18-year-old public for adults. So these cautions are important. Otherwise, you will receive a warning letter from the CAD, or your life is going like a breakdown. Another aspect is related to children. So it's important to pay also attention with children aspects when you're doing live events. Since 2006, CONAR recommended that children and teenagers must not appear in campaigns promoting products and service incompatible with their condition in order to protect them. So while performing live events, it's recommended to include a mechanism on the platform to restrict the content and clearly indicate that it's the target audience. The third aspect is related to advertising in live events. Here in Brazil, we have a famous singer. It's called Sandy Junior, and they performed broadcast a live event like quite recently, and it reached 10 million views. It's huge, and it was sponsored by some very important companies like Elocard here in Brazil. So when you're thinking about a live event, like a professional one, and you have an advertising on it, so the cautions must be higher. YouTube earns because YouTube earns revenue already. When you see those videos over YouTube, there are lots of ads, and you skip them, but YouTube earn money with that, and the authors and the creators, of course. So when you put an advertising like during your live event, like let's give a break, and I love this beer. This beer is so cool. Drink this beer, and something like this. YouTube, it's not possible to do this in YouTube. So your live event can face problems. So it's also important to indicate and to make clear that the live event is being sponsored and it has a commercial partnership. The fourth is the 30 parts rights. It's quite important, mainly considering the live event shows and concerts you play lots of 30 parts music and these sort of things. So Brazil has become a global reference for YouTube during the pandemic. We access a lot, in fact. So YouTube has been paying attention in tracking, and the tracking services from YouTube has been intensified this year during our live events. So first of all, before you think on performing and broadcasting live event, you must obtain the authors or the copyright owner's authorization. Otherwise, you cannot get the monetization if it's recorded, of course, if you keep your live event recorded afterward, and you have to get authorizations, otherwise you're gonna face problems. And be sure that the owner responsible for the management of content ID, I'm pretty sure that all of you are aware how it works. So you have to inform the editor, the copyright owner that is handling, because there is a list of permissions to play over the YouTube. So you say, hello, I'm gonna play your song, can I? So can you allow me to do that? So you're not going to face any problems. These problems I'm talking about here is the one we faced already like 1 month ago. And I think the artists are being now more conscious about this thing, this aspects, but it's quite new for us to yet. And continuing about third-party live events, when content IDs identifies that you are using a third-party word, so there are something that can be done. So you are the creator and the copyright owner. Sometimes if you see the live event, you say, okay, I'm okay with it. Like I give a consent, and I'm not going to earn nothing in return. So I don't think it's quite common, but you can consent the music, the broadcasting, the live event, but receive the money to yourself with the video ads that's it's happening in the, if it's recorded in the live event. It seems more common to me, at least. And not consenting with the use and break down your live content. It has occurred here, and because the creator, the artist has not taken the necessary cautions. And if you receive 3 warnings from YouTube, you can have your channel, you can receive a strike. It's not a good idea for you, especially when you earn money with the video and live streaming. So it's really important for you pay attention in these 4 aspects I've talked about, the main ones. So okay, we are all living this bad situation. We don't know how things are going to happen, and okay, but the shutdown of the audiovisual and entertainment industry can cause, and I believe it's already causing, and it will change our future and our present. Indeed, it has been changed already, and our relationship with the market as a whole. So I bring here some opportunities. I think each will occur or related to live events. So new business deals, like we are doing lots of meetings over Zoom or apps. So new business deals about copyrights, movies, new launchment of new movies are they have deals and signing new contracts, new business in this pandemic using platforms. So TV channels and streaming services will need more content, new content, When you think about it, we have free time more than we usually had. So we are going to access Netflix, and we need more content. So it's a new opportunity for the companies, the creators to offer more work to be broadcasted in this TV or in the streaming platforms. And the pandemic moment can be used to launch films and series that are ready and but not have been shown to the public yet. You can see museums that you could never had the opportunity to see by interactive visits, shows, movie awards, film festivals. It can now take place over the internet. So you are in your room and your house, in your comfortable house, and you can go to cook shows and watch movies, and pay for that. It's the attendance. That's going to happen. That the platforms are going to pay, like, to pay the offers. It's quite fair. Artists and copyright owners are earning money from advertising in their live events. It's quite new opportunity for our future. Online broadcastings of cinema, movies, televisions, etc. We can see new stuff that were not available before. Live events, streaming, like using third D virtual reality. And I think it's not going to happen now, but it would be awesome if it's happen. It gives us a more interaction, even if we are in our home. And video games and car racing are doing virtual championship with the participation of professional players. And I don't know if it's going to take place in the future, like racing, but video games, it's common. Yeah, it's common already to work and to in the internet and platforms. These give two new opportunities. It affects Brazil. It's related to Brazil. Facebook announced quite recently that it's going to allow and the charge for access to broadcast soon. So consumers will have to pay to watch a live event or streaming. So artists can think about this new opportunity to earn more money when this pandemic ends. This will be a new alternative. And the second one and the last one opportunity I bring here, it's about remember when I explained it about ICAD and YouTube problems with Conar and these problems that we are facing. So Brazilian artists decided they are already developing their own platform to broadcast their own music. I don't know if other third party rights, or probably I don't know how it's going to work, because they don't want to depend on Google. So about non-contentious case, I brought here two cases only, because Conar has not updated yet its website, but these two ones, and I think these two ones are the maybe the only cases Conar had faced in the last 2 or 3 months. So this slide presentation is it's updated. So here, I think you guys don't know these two singers. It's called Bruno and Marrone. these guys were had an advertising, a sponsorship by Ambev, beer company. So they drank a lot more than necessary. So consumers, because consumers can complain to CONAR as well. CONAR can check, but consumers can also let them give the information to CONAR and say, look at what's going on the live event. So CONAR pays attention on that and saw the live presentation and sent a warning letter, a warning advice, yeah, to the Bruno Marrone. This, you can see the complaint here, so that they don't do it again. You don't go to jail, okay, if you receive a CONAR advertisement, but it's recommended to comply with it. And the second one, as you can see from the picture, it's quite clear. It's very one of the most famous singers we have here in Brazil. He's called Gustavo Lima, and he was performing Gustavo Lima's Live was the name, and he drank a lot, more than the other two guys, more than necessary. So the use of too much alcoholic beverage in streaming live events has caused like another warning sent by CONAR. And let's go into the end of this presentation. We're going to talk about, I brought here just two cases because live events and streaming are quite recent to us. When we talk about streaming itself, we had several lawsuits involving like if it was necessary or not to pay the copyright fees. Like the court already decided, the justices decided in 2007. So I think it's not worthy to bring here for you because it's already decided. So we have to pay copyright fees when you do a performance streaming, no matter if it's simulcasting or webcasting or live event. So you have to pay. The Superior Court in 2017 had not discussed about live events, okay? So as an analogy, we are using that decision to think and to pay the copyright fees. So the first case, the contentions and lawsuit related to streaming and copyright, involves a copyright violation in streaming services. So we had an author that had 8 songs available on a streaming platform, and he filed a lawsuit against the streaming company because his name was not indicated. So it's a moral right of the author. We have here the copyright, the property rights, and the moral rights, like, but it's provided on Berne Convention. So the author requested indemnization and moral damage, and the court Rio Grande do Sul, so it's here in Brazil, decided to give him this moral damage because without mentioning his name on the work can generate offense to the author personality's rights. And the second and last one is about copyright violation with content including streaming platforms. So we had a music band that recorded a song that violated a copyright of third party, and this song was displayed and put on the streaming platform. So the court of Rio de Janeiro recognized the moral and property damage and the obligation to exclude the song from all the streaming platforms and other channels. So this is the end. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have some doubts, you can send an email to me. It's over here. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Renata, for your brilliant and sparkling presentation. Very interesting to know the different word, legal word altogether as the Brazilian